Well, good morning, everybody. Today I'm over here back in the Lake Russell Recreation Area at Mount Airy, Georgia. And I'm going to be hiking on the Rhododendron Trail a little bit. Now, I have hiked the Rhododendron Trail before, probably about a year ago. And I'm going to hike it again today and see what all kinds of sights we can see along the way. There is a couple of waterfalls up through here that we'll check out. I'm not sure how well they're going to be flowing. I know last year when I hiked this trail, we were in a pretty wet period, and the waterfalls are flowing really well, but I'm not sure if that's going to be the case today because it is very dry right now. There is a total fire ban in the whole Chattahoochee National Forest right now. You can't have a campfire even in the campgrounds. You can't cook with charcoal on a grill or anything like that. So it's very dry right now. So I'm not sure how the waterfalls are going to be flowing. But we'll check them out nonetheless. Anyway, I'm going to get to hiking up through here and see what all we can see. Now this trail is about 3.5 miles total. It starts here in the Lake Russell Recreation Area, and then you hike and you end up climbing up Chinnesita Mountain, and you will get up there. It ends up at the fire tower on top of Chinnesita Mountain. The Chinnesita fire tower up there. But the trail starts out fairly easy, and as you work your way to the mountain and start up the mountain, it gets very, very steep. It's the last section of it climbing up the mountain there is pretty tough. And I remember last year when I hiked it, there was all these leaves on the ground, fresh fallen leaves, because it was in the fall when I hiked it last time. It was pretty tough to keep your footing on those leaves. It was very slick because the trail turns up so steep. And there were a couple times I really busted my butt. So just have to be careful if you're doing this one in the fall like this with all the leaves on the ground. But it's a beautiful hike. I'm sure if you hiked it in the peak of the fall with all the colors on the tree, it would be absolutely beautiful. We're out of the peak season now. As you can see, most of the leaves are all just brown. What few are left, the majority of them's laying on the ground, but I'm sure if you hike this during the peak, it would be a beautiful hike. And then once you get up on top of Chinnesita Mountain, the view from up there is pretty grand. And the tower up there is also a beautiful tower. It's a beautiful old stone fire tower. But and like I said, there's a couple of waterfalls along the trail as well on your way up. But we'll check all that out here later as we work our way on up the trail. Now, as you can see, we've got a lot of ground cedar growing in here. This section of this trail seems to be just covered in it. But lots of ferns too. And the ferns are still good and green over here on this section. Most everywhere else I've been, they've been all brown and gone. But little bit of difference compared to some of the last couple of trails I've been on, with everything all brown and not a whole lot of lush green. There's still a little bit of lush green left over here at least, and that's always nice. Well, here's the first waterfall you'll come to on the Rhododendron Trail. And it's still flowing pretty good, although it's not as full as what it is when we're in a really wet time of year. But I'm surprised that it's actually flowing this well. But beautiful waterfall with a nice little pool down here below it. Be a good place to come on a hot summer day and cool off as we look on downstream. It's a beautiful waterfall here along the Rhododendron Trail. Here's a little bit different view. I got up here a little bit closer to the waterfall, just to get sort of a side angle of it. Looking at the pool down below it. This would be a really awesome area to be in the middle of summer on a real hot day. Could really get cooled off here. I'm back up here on the main trail, but the side trail to that first waterfall will be right here on your left, about 3/10 of a mile in. You'll see it going there, and it's only a couple 100 feet out there to that waterfall. So, but I'm going to continue on up the main trail here and see what else we can see. Now here is the second waterfall here on the Rhododendron Trail, and this one's a little bit more of a bushwhack to get to, and I'm actually off the trail a pretty good bit. You can't really tell it from down here, but that ledge up there, the trail is actually up there on top of that, and you actually have to get off the trail back downstream from this waterfall and sort of do a little bushwhacking following the creek. It's a short bushwhack, and it's not too terribly bad, but that's what's involved to get to this second waterfall. But as you can see, it's got a nice pool underneath it as well to get in and cool off in the summertime. But it's another beautiful waterfall here along this trail. And like I said, as we look downstream, you have to bushwhack up the creek there and work your way up here and cross the creek a couple of times, but it's nothing too bad, nothing too extreme. But it's another beautiful waterfall, and I'm really shocked that it's flowing this well. And as you can see, the Zorro spiders are still out. Well, as you can see, we've got just a tad bit of color left. This is probably going to be the last of the fall colors, because the majority of the trees are pretty bare. But there's just a little bit of browns and oranges left out there. A few yellows, but not many. I'm just working my way on up the trail. We've got another waterfall coming up to check out. But it's a really nice day. It is a little overcast and cool, but not too bad. Just a nice day to be out and enjoying the outdoors. Now this is the third waterfall on this trail, and this one is called Tiny Dancer Falls. And as you can see, it's a beautiful little thin waterfall. That's like the others, it's flowing pretty good to be so dry. But really beautiful little waterfall. And this one is just a short little side trail off the main trail to get up here. If you look down there, you can see that old dead tree that's fallen across the trail there. That's the main trail right down there, so this isn't far at all up here. But it's another nice little waterfall. You can see it's here at this rock cliff and all, back up in here. Beautiful little, sort of like a nook up in here, I guess you'd call it. But that's Tiny Dancer Falls. We've got some beautiful, colorful wildflowers growing along this little side trail. Up here to the Tiny Dancer Falls. A few of them in here. That's pretty awesome. Just happened to look down and see them here along the trail as I'm working my way back to the main hiking trail here. Just wanted to share that as I thought they were beautiful bright flowers for this time of year. Now here's where the trail turns to the left here. You can see we've got these hiker signs with arrows, but the trail turns to the left here, makes a sharp left hook, and we go down there and we'll cross the creek, and then we start up the mountain. This is once you cross that creek down here, this is where the really steep section starts, and it starts right across the creek, and it progressively gets steeper and steeper and steeper as you work your way up to the top of Chinnesita Mountain. So I'm fixing to start the real fun part of this hike. Be huffing and puffing for a little bit, but the scenery is well worth it. So I'm going to continue on down through here and check it out. Well, as you can see, I'm now back at the parking area. Went about 3.5 miles total. So that was a good hike with some waterfalls and good views and the whole 9 yards. But I'm going to get in the car and head on out of here and see if I can find me a bite to eat. I hope all of y'all have had a wonderful day. This coming Thursday is Thanksgiving, so I want to wish each and every one of y'all a very happy and safe Thanksgiving. And I look forward to seeing you on my next adventure. Until next time, I'll see you later.